Well, supposedly I am live, but I'm trying to figure out where's my camera. All right, let's see. Live. All right. Now I can't tell. Let's see. Who's got? I'm using my camera. I'm using my microphone, but I can't see anything. Oh dear. Now, this was happening before, and I could see my screen and my camera, but the camera's not on. That's what's going on. Wow. Let me see. Well, we'll do this. And we're looking in order to get my UCam going. Hello. All right. I don't want, I want. So the camera's on. Hey! I couldn't figure out what was going on with this. For some reason, it just wouldn't allow me. It was like, okay, Bev, but this is my first time doing it. I'm just trying to figure out just how to make this work. Well, for those of you who are here, welcome to the show. And I'm just kind of playing with UCam here a little bit, but I just want to say, yes, everything has worked and that I'm here. And there's another thing I need to do when I'm looking at this. So I'm just getting started. This is my very first time. I wanted to flip that so that when I put up a book, you can see, and it wasn't backwards. Anyhow, so um, okay, it flipped again. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to say okay before I closed it out. Hi and welcome. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and I really just wanted to do this live camp. In fact, one of the things in my life is that um, I follow my intuition. It has been basically talking to me for quite some time into saying, Bev, you need to do a live. And I go, but why? You know, who will show up? How many people will show up? And I don't know. If nobody shows up, it's okay. I am finally doing a live broadcast. So, what do I want to talk about today? Well, for many of you, you don't know me or you haven't met me, but some of you have followed me for quite some time on Facebook. You know me through my book. Let me do this. Christianity, the Law of Attraction and the One Command, Bible Principles Revealed and Applied to Everyday Living. Right now, it's not available um, until I'm getting ready to do a rewrite of it. But if you want a copy, I do have some here at home. And so you can send me an email. And the easiest email to get me on is go see Beverly. Yeah, go. SEE Beverly at gmail.com. And in the subject line, just put Christianity book because that one is available now. The other one that people have met me for is this one, uh, Manifesting the Life You Want, Prime Directives for Abundant Living. Those are my two main books. And then I've been part of anthologies, but in those books and in my Beverly Fells Jones podcast and upload it to my YouTube channel, I talk about how your mind works, how you actually reflect what you think in your life. And I have many examples of the way I thought was not really the way it was. That what I thought would happen had I stepped out of my comfort zone and I went on and did it, even though I had a negative thought inside of me, I found out that, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought, or it's not as difficult as I thought, or I did it. Oh, so fantastic. Just like today, I'm doing this live, um, kind of thing. Um, and, if you're here, I don't have a moderator because, you know, moderators are not part of my thing here. I just hit a button and I don't know what it's going to do. It's like it turned on a bell. Okay. So, anyhow, hopefully, we'll just wait for that to do its thing. Anyhow, so it was like turning on something else with this thing for my camera. So I'm using a camera program called UCam 9. And UCam is one that you can record on, you can use for YouTube Live, like this frame that's around here, right? It's a frame that is from UCam. So let me go back. So I'm talking about your thoughts, the way you think makes a difference. So one morning, I thought about a friend of mine whom I hadn't communicated with in quite some time. And I mentally sent out a message to her that we needed to talk. She called me that afternoon. And, it's like, so you got my message, huh? And she said, what do you mean? I said, I was thinking about you very strongly today, and you called me. And this wasn't the first time this happened. This has happened many times before to me. So, you know, another time I decided to take a different route to a meeting. And it was just, this feeling that, oh, let me take a different way today. Let me see if this is any faster. Well, what happened? It turned out the original way had an accident and it would have made me very late. So I want to ask you, have you ever thought of somebody and the phone rings and it's that person that you were thinking about? Have we been able to cause things to happen? And some of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. That the fact that you thought about it, you meditated on it, you did all kinds of things, and it happened. So basically, it is our natural intuition at work. Neville Goddard, who was a thought leader until his death in the 70s, 1912 to the 70s. Well, not when he was a little, but he became a very big leader on your imagination and the way you think and being able to bring thought into form. And he had he had a specific protocol to use in order to make that happen. Anyway, so I talk about him, and on my channel, I have in the playlist, I have Napoleon Hill, I have Neville Goddard, and I speak specifically to the things that they want to, well, the things that they taught and the things that I have incorporated in my life. Now, for years, we've been told that we have this thing called intuition and that we should pay attention to it because it directs us. The problem has been knowing how to direct that intuition to work for you. And that is basically, you know, what I teach and I talk about, but I use different thought leaders. I mean, I've gotten to the point now that I really, I'm not so much in today's leaders. And there's multiple reasons for that. And I talk about it on my podcast and on my YouTube channel. But I look at the teachings of what I call the old masters. And one of the teachings of the old masters is, of course, the scriptures. Now, some of you are not religious, some of you have a hard time, some of you are not, you don't look at the Hebrew or the Old Testament or the New Testament as being things that you desire. So it's okay because I use a whole lot of everything, other writings. And I tell you that because they all teach the same thing. They all are telling us the same basic information in different ways, different languages, different ways of forming a sentence. They're all teaching the same ways, the same thing. So, over 50 years ago, a gentleman by the name of Jose Silva, he started studying psychology and intuition to help his children do better in school. What he discovered is that we all have this ability to increase our intuitive capabilities and be able to direct those capabilities for our best and highest good. And from 22 years of research, he developed methods that can be used by you and by me to tap into our subconscious mind and actively use our intuition. Many times I say, I consciously talk to my subconscious so I can get the outcome that I desire. According to Silva, there are three, I'm going to do two, three things we must learn to do in order to improve our abilities in that area. The first is to learn to meditate. And I know for some of you, that's like, are you kidding me? I tried to do that meditation thing and it just didn't work. Well, you want to learn to do meditation in a way that slows your brain waves to what scientists refer to as the alpha level. This level taps us into our subconscious mind, and it's a brainwave level that you achieve when you're in a hypnotic trance. So, let me got my little notebook here or my little pen and paper. And so, number one is meditate. Okay, let's see. Over here. Number one, meditate. Okay, now a 10-year research project at a Newark College of Engineering revealed that executives for companies who have the greatest increase in profits score way above average in precognition. Now, precognition is I've got an idea. I think this is going to happen. We need to do this. They're predicting the future and they're using their intuition. I have this gut feeling. Have you ever said that? I have this feeling that this is what's going to happen. What they found is that these executives dipped into alpha when contemplating a decision. You can begin to learn to go to alpha yourself by taking, I tell people start off with 5 minutes, but getting to 20 minutes and just sit in a quiet place. And you say, I don't have time. Well, when I put my mind to it, I find time. There are times when you're just not doing anything. So you can take a few minutes. I've even counseled people to say, go to the bathroom, go in the stall, have a seat, and just block out everything, especially if you're about to have a really bad day or you've just experienced something that has made you highly stressful. You need to calm down. And so you can do that by just sitting down and taking deep breaths. Just and and when you're taking those deep breaths, you want to take it from your gut. You want your stomach to expand. That gives your move and your lungs to fill up. And especially during these times, 24, relax. 23, relax. Or 22, relax. Take a deep breath. 21, relax. So you are relaxing, taking deep breaths, and slowly counting backwards. When you first do this, some people have the tendency to forget what number they are on. And the reason for this is because some thought comes into your brain about what you have to do and why you need to do it. And so you say, nah, no, I need to forget that hair in my eyes. Anyway, so you want to get that thought away. I say swipe it to the left. All right. So when you're able to do this without falling asleep, so I recommend people sit in a nice chair. Right now I'm in the dining chair and it's stiff, right? And it leans back a little bit. All right. You're able to do this and you can effectively meditate to the alpha level. Then you go to the next one. And then you go from 50 to 1 and then 100 to 1. And what you're doing is training yourself to totally relax, to clear your mind of all thought, and just allow yourself to be. When you get to the point that you can get to alpha like this, because that's what happens, right? You get to alpha. Then whatever it is that you want to bring into your life, you set a goal. You don't know how you're going to make that goal. And and it's okay because if you believe that infinite intelligence, universal mind, God, whatever you choose to call the entity, is able to help you, then the next thing you need to do is, and I'm writing this down, the next thing you want to do is visualize. Visualize what it is that you want to accomplish in its completed state. Let's say that you need a new vehicle. All right. Then you start thinking about what that new vehicle is. What is it? What color is it? What model is it? You know, um, but you don't put any limitations on that vehicle. Or you need your vehicle repaired, whatever it is, and you need some means of getting that vehicle. Well, what you visualize is the finished product, that it is done, it is finished. So we communicate to one another physically, emotionally, and mentally. And we do that through language, whether that's verbal or through the way our body moves. Words accompanied by pictures can be akin to being on the superhighway of meditation. We then deliver, when we visualize, we deliver this picture to our tutors, our guardian angels, our counselors, who in turn will work to have what you want happen or appear, and I always say, or something better. Thus, I pictured talking to my friends while I was in the Apple Alpha state. Now, what I realize and what is taught really is once you go into this alpha state on a regular basis, you can dip into alpha in the middle of a conversation. You can just relax yourself and visualize what you want, and honey, you are there, right? So practice 25 to 1, 50 to 1, 75 to 1, 100 to 1, breathing slowly. Once you know what it feels like, you can immediately calm your body, relax yourself, and get dip into that alpha theta state easily. Now, the third piece, the third step to this is something that people they got to maintain control, and that is release, right? Release and let go. Release, just let it go. You say, okay, I asked for what I want. I visualized it. I know exactly what it is. And let me take a sip of my coffee. I finally cooled down enough and my throat was getting dry. You've got to actually release it. Release the picture from our consciousness with the knowledge that it is already done. We just have to wait for the solution to pop into our lives. You see, when you visualize this, when you ask, when you do this thing, it's actually already created for you in the invisible. It's just sitting there to form into solid form and come to you. Or I love to talk about the domino effect. You ask for this, and something has to happen, some things, some steps, and it might be on the other side of the world, or it might be down the street, it might be next door, but some things have to happen before it gets to you. You know, some things, like when I thought about my friend, then my mind phone is what I call when I reach out and ask for something, or I reach out and I think about a friend. It's like your cell phone, right? You don't know how it gets to that person. You know that you just dial that number and it goes out to them and their phone rings on the other side. Well, this is how your mind phone works in the sense that it does that also. So you want to make sure that you meditate on what you want, visualize it being completed, and that's just know that it's being done. So Jose Silva stated that he could teach people to use their intuition accurately, reliably, and regularly in 2 days, and he gave a money back guarantee. His training has helped millions around the world. Some famous people that you may know who took the training from him was Dr. Wayne Dyer, and many of you have heard about him. Those of us in my generation, or some of you may have heard it, Richard Bach. He's the author of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. All right. He took it. Jack Canfield. Now, Jack's in his 80s now, I believe, or almost 90. He's the creator with his partner of Chicken Soup for the Soul. He took the training. He understands how it works, and countless millions of others. And I am a certified trainer of the Silva method, or the Silva UltraMind. And so this works. So let me put this up here again. Okay. See where I can see it. Meditate, visualize, and then release. So I'm looking at doing this again on Fridays at 10 a.m. At least I'm going to try to. If things happen in my life, then no. If I get an opportunity to speak somewhere, I'm always open to join your Zoom group or your organization and have a talk about how your mind works and talk about all those things that the states of our mind or the idea of accomplishing things you want. I do the book study on the book Think and Grow Rich. That's why that book is here. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a 10-week study. And I put up the dates and the information on Eventbrite. So if you go to Eventbrite and look for Beverly Fells Jones as the organizer, or you go to, all right, I'm going to wipe this off of this screen because I want to give you, so you can look for Beverly Jones, but if you go to tinyurl.com and think rich, this isn't coming out right, 2019, because I haven't gone out there to do a new one. So tinyurl.com, think rich 2019. And that will take you to my organizer page. And right now, I've got it set for a date, but I may change it. But I want to set up a date so that you can get ready for next year. Now, all of my classes, what I'm going to be doing is going to be on Eventbrite. I've just decided that I'm not going to do a lead page or on my website, or I'll announce it on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. I'll let you know, and then eventually I might get to Instagram. I just keep forgetting Instagram. Um, and be able to do that. So on Facebook, it's Beverly Fells Jones. On YouTube, it's Beverly Fells Jones. On Facebook, my fan page is Commanding Your Life. On Twitter, it's Beverly Fells Joan, Jon, because they wouldn't let me put the ES. And on Instagram, it's Coach Beverly. But all of that should be in the description information for this particular podcast. Well, I said I was going to myself, not to you, that I was going to limit this to about 30 minutes. So I hope that you've learned a little bit, and one about being able to do some meditation easily and effortlessly by counting down, starting at 25, perfect that, go to 50 to 1 and perfect that, 75 to 1, and be able to do that easily and effortlessly, and then go to 101. By the time you do that, you'll be able to sit quietly for 10, 15, 20 minutes and be able to take those extraneous messages out of your head and move them off and be able to just sit quietly. And next, I know what the next thing I'm going to talk about is concentration, because concentration is a requirement for you to start looking and achieving your goals. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness. And I want you to know that as you have believed, let it be done to you. And it is so. And I'll see you in the next live chat next Friday at 10 a.m. Take care.